Konnichiwa, I'm Saiba Kunoichi Usagi. Today, I'm diving into the career of my all-time favorite action icon, Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes is not just an actor who performs fight scenes. He is a highly decorated martial artist who has been training since the age of 12. His background is deeply rooted in traditional system, which he eventually blended with modern styles to create his signature cinematic fighting style. Here is a breakdown of Wesley Snipes' martial arts credentials and career. 1. Core rankings and disciplines. Snipes holds legitimate high-level rankings in several distinct martial arts. Shotokan Karate. He holds a 5th degree black belt. This is a traditional Japanese style, known for powerful, linear strikes and deep, stable stances. Hapkido. He holds a 2nd degree black belt. Hapkido is a Korean martial art that focuses on joint locks, throws, and dynamic kicking. Capoeira. Wesley Snipes is a well-known practitioner of this Brazilian martial art, which combines dance, acrobatics, and fluid movement. He trained under the renowned Mestre Gelon Vieira. Additional training. He has also cross-trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Kung Fu, specifically at the USA Shaolin Temple, Eskrima, Filipino stick fighting, and kickboxing. He is not some 3-week boot camp actor. This is a man who dedicated his life to the dojo. 2. Impact on action cinema. Snipes is credited with helping bridge the gap between Hong Kong-style choreography and Hollywood action. The Blade legacy. His most famous role as the Marvel vampire hunter Blade showcased a mix of his karate precision and capoeira fluidity. It set a new standard for how superheroes fought on screen, moving away from brawling toward technical martial arts. Speed and authenticity. During the filming of Demolition Man 1993, it was famously reported that Snipes moved so fast in his fight scenes that the cameras couldn't capture his movements clearly, forcing him to slow down for the audience. Personal philosophy. Snipes has often credited his training for his mental discipline. He has stated in interviews that the focus and resilience he learned in the dojo helped him navigate the pressures of fame and personal legal challenges later in his life. He famously said that he views martial arts not just as fighting, but as a form of moving meditation. Let me say this out loud as a martial artist. Meditation is important. The savior of comic book movies, Wesley Snipes' legacy as Blade is one of the most significant chapters in superhero history, often called the Godfather of Marvel movies. He didn't just play a character, he essentially saved the brand during its darkest hour and recently made a historic return that broke world records. In the mid-1990s, Marvel was in a dire state. It had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 1996, and superhero movies were considered poison at the box office after the failure of films like Batman and Robin 1997. The first real hit. Released in 1998, Blade was Marvel's first legitimate theatrical success. It proved that audiences were hungry for comic book stories if they were treated with a mature, stylish, and grounded tone, paving the way. Without the success of Blade, studios likely wouldn't have taken the risk on X-Men or Spider-Man. Even Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, has credited Blade as the 1-2 punch alongside X-Men that proved Marvel characters had massive cinematic potential. No Wesley, no MCU. That's just basic cinematic math. The return. After a 20-year hiatus from the role, following 2004's Blade Trinity, Snipes' surprise appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine was one of the biggest moments in the film, carrying deep meta-narrative weight. I may have cried, seeing him back on screen after 20 years, looking like he hadn't aged a day. And that line, "I'm such a nerd," breaking records. His return earned him 2 Guinness World Records. 1. Longest career as a live-action Marvel character. At over 25 years, he surpassed Hugh Jackman, who started in 2000. 2. Longest gap between character appearances in Marvel films. 19 years and 231 days since his last appearance. The only one Blade line. One of the most talked about moments in the movie is when his character deadpans, "There's only been one Blade, there will only ever be one Blade." This was a hilarious and slightly savage nod to the production hell of the MCU's Blade reboot, starring Mahershala Ali, which has faced numerous director exits and script delays. Wesley Snipes will play Blade until he's 90, I'm sure of it. Legacy settlement. His return also served as a peace treaty of sorts. The rumor says Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds famously had a difficult relationship on the set of Blade Trinity, but Reynolds personally called Snipes to bring him back, showing that their respect for the character's legacy outweighed old drama. Creating a style. Wesley Snipes' contribution to the Blade trilogy went far beyond just acting. He was the primary architect of the Blade style of fighting, which blended his real-world black belt expertise with cinematic flair. Here is how he crafted the iconic action that defined the series. Merging traditional arts with urban combat. Snipes didn't want Blade to fight like a standard Hollywood brawler. He utilized his Shotokan Karate for the sharp, finishing strikes, and his Hapkido for the smooth transitions into joint locks and throws. And the Blade pose. Snipes helped design the character's signature low guard stance, which allowed him to look cool while being technically ready to explode into a high kick or a sword draw. The Donnie Yen connection, Blade 2. While Snipes laid the foundation in the first film, Blade 2, directed by Guillermo del Toro, took things to a legendary level by bringing in Hong Kong action superstar Donnie Yen as the fight choreographer. The collaboration. Donnie Yen and Wesley Snipes were a dream team. Yen brought the high-speed, intricate wire-fu and weapon work, while Snipes ensured the movements stayed true to his power-based karate roots. It was a revolution. He brought that gritty, urban cool to the screen that was actually backed by technical skills. Watching him work with Donnie Yen in Blade 2, that's my version of a religious experience. The speed, the techniques. I'm literally, choreographing the finishing moves. Snipes was famous for improvising or suggesting specific kills that felt like they came out of a comic book. The ice skate kick. In the final fight of the first movie against Deacon Frost, the iconic moment where Blade kicks the EDTA syringe into Frost's head was a move. Snipes practiced to ensure the timing and physical snap looked authentic. Sword mastery. Snipes insisted on a specific way of drawing the sword from the back scabbard that maximized speed. He practiced the blind draw until he could do it without looking, adding to the character's cool factor. Seriously, he is my definition of coolness. 4. Directing the action. By the time they reached Blade Trinity, Snipes was so protective of the character's physical language that he often directed his own fight sequences. Even when production became famously difficult, Snipes remained the final authority on how Blade should move, ensuring the character never lost his tactical, efficient Daywalker edge. Movie recommendations. Demolition Man, 1993. Snipes plays the villain Simon Phoenix, a blonde, mohawked psychopath in a peaceful future. He completely steals the show from Sylvester Stallone. This is his most charismatic bad guy role. Passenger 57, 1992. Often called Die Hard on a Plane, this movie features his most famous line, "Always bet on black." This is pure 90s action perfection that showcases his martial arts speed. U.S. Marshals, 1998, a spin-off sequel to The Fugitive. Snipes plays a man on the run who might be a secret agent or a killer. The chemistry between him and Tommy Lee Jones is fantastic. New Jack City, 1991. Snipes is Nino Brown, a ruthless drug lord during the crack epidemic. This is arguably his best performance. It's chilling, tragic, and culturally massive. King of New York, 1990. He plays a tough narcotics cop chasing Christopher Walken's drug empire. This is a dark, atmospheric cult classic with an incredible cast, including Lawrence Fishburne. Brooklyn's Finest, 2009, a heavy, realistic police drama where he plays an ex-con trying to go straight. He saved Marvel, and he's back to claim his throne. What's your favorite Snipes movie? Let me know in the comments below. Arigato, everyone!